and 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 and
What's going on, everybody? Your boy Man up here, trying to come at you with another video about professional wrestling. Let me invite a couple of my buddies here with me. I'm letting you into the man cave. Now it's time for you to go ahead and enjoy it. Give me a few seconds here. Sorry about the delay. Alrighty, all right. Sorry about the delay here. Alrighty, got Mr. Joey finna join me right here. I don't know what's going on, man. I don't know what this is.
Facebook.
Now I'm trying to get Mr. Cedric in here, but for some reason not letting me invite him.
Did you see my invite
No,
or my request to join?
no.
It may be because before, like, I was trying to do it with my laptop, and for some reason there was no option for me to request or anything, and then I just got on my phone and did it. And I think he may have to do the same thing. Like, it may just not be working from, whatever browser we're using or whatever.
Okay, because yeah, I'm doing it from my touchscreen laptop right here. Okay,
Yeah.
I think I got Mr. Cedric right now. Okay.
All
Right. Sorry about all that.
right.
Like I say, I'm not tech savvy. I'm getting there though. I'm learning. My 12-year-old daughter is the one who's teaching me.
Right.
All right, we here now.
All I want to say is I wanted to use my laptop as well. Let's just go ahead and start there.
I guess I'm the only one using a laptop right now.
This guy, we're going to have some conversations offline there, sir. Good afternoon, everybody.
How's everybody doing, man? We're trying to get this going. We're going to have a long topic here, a long discussion, trying to figure things out.
Of course.
But how's y'all fellas doing today? How's y'all fellas doing?
Doing awesome, man. How about yourself there, good sir?
Man, I'm running some errands, trying to, take care of a few things. And I thought I had enough time, but, I said, let me hurry and get back to the house because I told these gentlemen a certain time frame. So I said, I better hurry and get back to the house.
Oh, so, okay. Here we are.
We are. So today's topic is going to be, our top 3 favorite topics. We're going to start from number 3, number 2, and then number 1. Going to bounce ideas off each other, then go from there.
Okay. Sounds good. Sounds awesome.
Which one of you gentlemen want to start today?
I don't
care. I'm starting with the man in the middle.
Depends on who shows up on your end as the man in the middle.
You?
It's you on mine. I'm not sure what everybody else sees, but
from my left is me, then Joe, and then Mr. Cedric. That's how it is for me.
Aha!
Oh, okay. 2 against 1. All right.
Oh, okay. All right, now, all jokes aside, I'll go ahead and start. My number 3 favorite moment in wrestling. All right, now, I did not write anything down. This is all coming from my head right now. But I'm going to start with my 3rd favorite. And like I was telling you guys, when we were texting back and forth, all of mine's going to be in the WWE because that's all I watch. I know y'all 2 gentlemen, y'all watch a plethora of wrestling from all types of promotion from everywhere, territories, stuff like that. So, even the indies. But but that's just me personally. So But anyway, third favorite moment in wrestling, I don't quote me on the year, but I think it was 2012. It was the Undertaker versus Triple H with Shawn Michaels as the guest referee, the Hell in a Cell match. That was a killer match. And
Okay.
for at least a good 6-7 years, that was the last match I watched in wrestling before I got back into it. For me,
Okay.
I know they said I forgot what they was calling it, end of an era. That's what it was called.
Right.
And for me, that was the end of an era because the end of all the great wrestlers from my time frame. Now, it's not saying that today's wrestlers are no good, no, because everybody got to start somewhere.
Exactly.
But for me and my generation of wrestling, that was the moment right there that Triple H and the Undertaker and Shawn Michaels gave it all. Now I know Shawn Michaels wasn't really wrestling per se; he was a referee, but
right,
played some moments in that match, and you could feel the storyline throughout the entire match. You know, Mr. Joey always says that you got to take the fans on a roller coaster ride.
Yeah.
Match. And boy, was that an emotional roller coaster ride, that entire match. With the sledgehammer, with the stairs, ring steps, excuse me. Shawn Michaels with the out of nowhere super kick on the Undertaker. The Undertaker just putting Shawn Michaels and Triple H in Hell's Gate. I mean, woo. You didn't know which way that match was going to go. I mean,
exactly.
You knew the Undertaker was going to win because they were keeping that streak going. But if you into that match, you didn't know who was going to win. If that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely.
Man,
Definitely.
but yeah, that to me, that's my number 3. And man, that match was was the greatest. Was one of the greatest moments for me in wrestling.
Well, like I told you guys earlier, like I don't my 3 it's not really matches. It's just kind of like timestamps in my lifetime. My number 3, I'm gonna take it back to my first memory of watching wrestling. Little bit of a backstory. So I was in 3rd grade, 1986. A classmate brought a wrestling magazine to school one day. I was like, what's this? He's like, this is wrestling. And we were just talking about it. I'm like, oh, this is pretty cool. He let me borrow that magazine, and I was like, okay. Right after that, I was looking in the TV guide. Before internet, everybody. This is before internet. You have this book that comes in the newspaper, or you can buy it like a magazine. It's called TV Guide. And what you do with this book is you go through and it tells you what shows is coming on TV. That's a hell of a concept, ain't it?
Yeah.
I am so dating us right now. It's not even funny. Anyway. So I'm going through here, looking. All right, okay. So whatnot. So the first wrestling show I ever remember watching was Saturday Night's Main Event. I believe it was February of 1986. For those who know, this is when King Kong Bundy avalanche Hogan in the corner, and Hogan wound up with the bruised ribs going into WrestleMania 2. And the picture of Bundy standing on top of Hogan is an iconic picture, and that's my first wrestling memory.
Wow, yeah, that's amazing.
You know, it's I'll make a comment about that. Like when your baby face is 6'7" tall and 300 pounds, it takes a special someone to get sympathy on him. You know,
exactly.
It's easy to get sympathy on a small baby face, but when you got a big dude, King Kong Bundy was twice his size.
and if you remember in that era, Hogan mostly wrestled folks that were bigger than him. You got your John Studd, you got your Kamalas, you got Andre, Bundy, all these big guys, Big Boss Man, Akeem. He rarely had a program with with people that was his size or smaller. I mean, he had a great program with Orndorff, with Macho Man and whatnot, Mr. Perfect. But all those were pretty good workers and can harness that sympathy.
Yep, exactly. You're talking about you just listed some names there when you said Orndorff, Hennig, Piper, you know, and those type of guys. That's a special group of heels
Exactly.
that can do some, they can get you over, and despite being the smaller guy in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess my third pick is similar in that this is like one of my first memories of watching wrestling at all. It was when Arn Anderson, believe it or not, was he's not the guy you think of when you think of like a kid's favorite wrestler, like first thing. But to me, even back when I was a little kid, Arn Anderson, the one thing he had going for him was he was believable. Like if Arn was working on your arm, you believed he was breaking that dude's arm. Like, and so for me,
him and Ole,
he learned it from Ole because the Andersons were known. Gene and Ole would take a body part in a match and just work that thing till it looked like it was falling off a guy. And
their match with the Rock and Roll Express, Ricky Morton is the best baby face, one of the best baby faces ever.
Yeah.
Because if he's bleeding, he's fighting and everything, he's getting that sympathy. Oh, I know them heels used to love working with him.
Yes. Yeah. That well, speaking of that, my first moment, one of my first moments I ever saw in wrestling was I followed Arn Anderson a little bit, but it was when he first won the television title. And he beat Wahoo McDaniel in '86.
Yep.
In a tournament final after Dusty had to vacate the belt. So you got to keep in mind that belt came off of Dusty Rhodes and went to Arn Anderson. So that was a big deal for Arn to get kind of put in that position where, and back then the TV title was different. We just, you know, later years it became kind of just a lower mid-card belt, but back then it was a big deal, and you were on TV every week, and they usually had those time limits, so it was exciting. You knew they only had like 10-15 minutes to get it done. You know, so and it was exciting, and you know, that was kind of Arn Anderson's coming out moment, even though he and Ole were the national tag champs.
Exactly.
But Arn coming out on his own and becoming a singles champion, that was a big moment, and that was a big moment for me.
He definitely became synonymous with that world television title.
Yep, he made it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Sure did.
Yeah, him and Tully were excellent TV champions. Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, y'all set the ball kind of high with that one.
Hey man, we out here just we just chopping it up, man.
Yeah, man, y'all set the ball pretty high on that one, man. Whew.
So you wait till my next two.
Oh man, my second one just happened a few months ago. And
okay.
The reason why I'm saying this, the second one here is when my first time ever going to not to a live event, but to a televised event. Let me put it like that. Two different things, live and televised.
Yeah.
Right. Now, the reason why I'm saying this is because I have been a wrestling fan, so like I told y'all, for some reason, I don't know how this even happened. I don't even remember. I just remember I was watching TV, and I watching Ultimate Warrior, and I got into wrestling. And that's been since the mid-'80s.
This guy.
And yep, Ultimate Warrior. Like I told you.
Yes, sir.
My statue right here.
Well, he's wearing the WrestleMania 6 T-shirt over here.
Now he made me want to go put my shirt on. But
purely coincidence. Purely coincidence, folks.
But yeah, my second favorite moment in wrestling is when my first time ever going to a televised event when I went to Raw this past February.
Nice.
To me, that was the holy grail for me.
Yeah.
It wasn't a pay-per-view. Well, they don't call them pay-per-views no more. They call them premium live events, but whatever. Yeah. Yeah. but that was a great experience. I got to see a lot of things, like me and Joey was talking before. I got to see a lot of things that you don't see on TV.
Exactly.
Well, I ain't gonna say you earn. You give them more respect. Excuse me, not earn. You give them more respect on the things they are accomplishing within a short period of time. Like they go to commercial. You know, if you ever time a commercial that's about 2.5 minutes, give or take, and they changing the rings and stuff like that.
Canvases.
You're looking at that live while they're doing.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You get to see the pre-match, the matches before the show and the match after the show. You get to see the dark matches, what they call it. But you get to see when you on commercial and stuff like that. If you sit at home watching it, you get to see how they're keeping the fans entertained during that commercial time. Like little crazy stuff they're doing, like a kiss cam or who look like this favorite wrestler, all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. You get to see that, and like I said, you appreciate a little bit more of the things that you don't see. So for me, the first time seeing that, I was shocked. I was blown away. And even right now, I guess you could say the pandemic is over. I guess it depends on how some people look at it, but still seeing that it was a bunch of people there. It was still a lot of empty seats, but it was a bunch of people there. And seeing how people, you could just feel it, that people were just happy to finally be back out and about, enjoying their lives, their everyday lives and stuff like that. And I mean, I don't know, it was just an emotional thing for me. Like I said, being a fan of this for like 40 some odd years now.
Yeah.
And, almost 40 years, I should say. And just being blown away of seeing everything, getting to witness every little detail. Well, I ain't gonna say every detail, but because I'm not the one who's actually setting everything up. But you know what I mean, from a fan standpoint. That's what I'm But and to be there and to see these wrestlers interact with you, you know what I'm saying? They look in the crowd, notice and pointing at you, like basically saying, "I see you. Thanks for being here." Whatever. Say. Of course, they can't talk to everybody because there's thousands of people. But and just interacting, and things like that. And when you're seeing it, and you're noticing that they're giving you a show, and it's like, wow, it's more of an experience. You see what I'm saying? And like I said, this is the second time I ever went to a show, but the first time was a live event and was not televised, and that was in 2009. But to actually go to a televised event and seeing the big difference between the two, it is a huge difference. And getting to experience, the crowd noise, get to experience the wrestlers' theme music, the pyros, seeing the jumbotron of everybody and all that good stuff. That was amazing to me. And if you have never been to a event, no matter what promotion you love, whether it's AEW, whether it's WWE, TNA, New Japan, whatever, go to one. You will respect everything that them people are doing for your entertainment. Trust me on that.
Yeah, so true. So well said. Well said on that front. Nothing beats nothing beats watching wrestling live. Because you literally watch them feed off of the energy, and you all are giving it to the wrestlers and whatnot. Nothing beats that. And that brings me to my second moment. It was my very first wrestling show. My very first wrestling show was back in I got pulled up right here, September 29th, 1990. It was at the Palace of Auburn Hills in Auburn Hills, Michigan. I grew up in Detroit, and Auburn Hills was nice little way. My friend and his dad invited me. I was so geeked. And on this card, I saw the likes of Dustin Rhodes, a young Dustin Rhodes, the Barbarian, Tito Santana, Sergeant Slaughter, Nikolai Volkov, Paul Roma, Marty Jannetty. We had an Intercontinental Championship match between Mr. Perfect and Texas Tornado. That Mr. Perfect won by countout. This was right after SummerSlam, where the Texas Tornado won the Intercontinental Championship. And the main event was all three members of Demolition, Axe, Crush, and Smash, going against the Legion of Doom and the Ultimate Warrior.
You got my attention when you said that.
That's why I made sure I went right after you, so because you said Ultimate Warrior, so I was like, oh, okay, this will tie in real nicely. So that was my first wrestling show.
That's nice. That's nice.
All right. Well, I guess my second favorite moment I ever witnessed in wrestling was August 2nd, 1992, when Ron Simmons won the WCW World Heavyweight Championship.
That's my birthday.
Really?
Yes, it is, August 2nd.
And honestly, because as a kid watching wrestling, like I could not, first off, that was one of those things that I feel like never happens in wrestling anymore. Something you do not see coming a million miles away. Nobody walked in that arena that night thinking Ron Simmons was wrestling for the World Heavyweight Championship. They thought Sting was wrestling Vader for the championship, and that's the night Jake the Snake Roberts debuted in WCW and took out Sting out of the match. And then Ron Simmons, this is when Bill Watts was booking WCW, by the way. And for all the credit that Bill Watts got about being out of touch and like too old school, you can't say that when he made Ron Simmons the first black world heavyweight champion in the history of professional wrestling.
Exactly. Exactly.
And if you see, and every time you watch that video now, you can see that crowd's reaction. Unbelievable. That was red hot. Nobody saw it coming. And it was literally just Vader heeling on him, beating the mess out of him. And then he caught a power slam out of nowhere and just cradled him up and pinned him. And it's like, the energy in there, every baby face hit the ring. Why don't they do that anymore? Like, that kills me. It's all I hear from people is, oh, there's no baby faces and heels in wrestling anymore. It's like, that's why I don't watch it, really. Because back then, the whole locker room, every baby face hit that ring and put Ron Simmons. They put the belt on Ron. They put him up on his shoulders, and that's what you call a moment in wrestling. They don't do those anymore like that. There's no emptying out the locker room, and it shows because the fans are not that hype and on their feet. And that wasn't the biggest crowd of all time, but they were hot. That's that you can have 5,000 people, and if they're hot, that's better than 50,000 people just sitting there like, cool, man.
A little side note about Cowboy Bill Watts. Back when he was running Mid-South, his top baby face, you know who it was?
Junkyard Dog. one of definitely his hottest baby faces, but he knew.
Exactly. He caught lightning in a bottle. JYD was huge in the Mid-South territory. Thusly, Vince picked him up.
Yeah, I mean, that's what he did. He picked up every he tried to anyway.
He picked up everybody.
I mean, the very fact that he ended up with Harley Race on the roster in, 85, 86? That's a guy.
Closer to 87. Closer, yeah.
See, but that's the point. It took him that long to get Harley on the roster because Harley was the 8-time NWA World Heavyweight Champion. He was one of the last mega star holdouts that didn't come in there. But that goes to show you, Vince wanted, he ended up with Kurt Hennig and Kerry Von Erich. He picked every top guy that he could from every territory and brought him in. But JYD, man, if you don't know how hot and Duggan too. Duggan was a big baby face in Mid-South. That
was when Mid-South converted over to UWF. Hacksaw was Bill Watts' number one baby face. Yeah. Gone. DiBiase, he was number 2. Vince took him too. Yeah.
And look what he did with him. So
hey, one man gang. UWF champion. They had to schedule a title change so one man gang can go to WWF. That's when Big Bubba Rogers won.
Yeah. Wow. And speaking of Big Bubba, I remember him. He got him too, the Big Boss Man. Eventually, he got him all.
He got him too. Crazy enough, they'll fight for the UWF title, but eventually they become tag team partners. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's funny that that you mentioned all these people because I remember the Junkyard Dog with the damn chain on his neck, crawling, barking. For his gimmick. Also, too, another one that I remember was Coco Beware. That was funny as hell, boy. I used to love that shit. I used to love that. All right, let me go get to my number.
Pulled him from Memphis, yep.
Oh, my bad.
No,
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. Let me go ahead and get to my number one. I already kind of talked about it a little bit already. And that's when I first got into wrestling. Like I said, the shirt you have on there, Mr. Cedric, and the guy that's on this statue right here, right above my head right here. I talk about this and I just can't explain it really.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you're a kid, you know, you gaining a lot of interest in things, you know, you like this for a moment, now you don't like it no more. Whatever, you know what I'm saying? Kind of like a cartoon. You like it now, but then you don't like it no more. But for some odd reason, I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was the face paint. I don't know if it was the tassels on his arm and his legs. I don't know if it was all the energy, that breathing hard, that I don't know what it was. It could have been a combination of it all. But for some reason, I don't think it was his debut in wrestling at that moment. I don't believe, but in the mid to late 80s, I want to say it was like 86 or 87, something like that. Don't quote me on the time frame. But I turn on TV, you know, I'm flipping through the channels. I see wrestling. I see, I think it was Psycho Sid in the ring, I think. I'm trying to think. No, I forget who was in the ring at the moment. So don't quote me on that. But it was somebody in the ring. And I remember Ultimate Warrior's music. I just remember hearing that music. And that's what made me not change the channel. I heard that ding, 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 you know, whatever. And I'm trying to think of the moment. Exactly.
It sounds like you're talking about WrestleMania 8 when he ran out to save Hogan.
You might. Damn, I can't
said
remember.
Sid. That was the match with Sid and Hogan, and the Warrior made the save from Papa Shango and them.
Yeah, there we go. There we go.
You go.
There we go. Yep. Thank you for jogging my memory. Thank you. But I just remember flipping the TV, and I stayed on it, and I heard the Ultimate Warrior's music before he came out.
1992, April 92.
Okay. Then it's not that then.
Okay.
Don't quote me, but I just remember hearing the Ultimate Warrior's music. Let's just go from there. Okay. And I remember just hearing that music, and I did not change the channel. And I remember just seeing him run to the ring, going that long ass ramp to the ring, and just watching him and all that damn energy, and that just got me hooked, just like that. And like I said, ever since the mid 80s, it was the mid 80s, I remember that. And I've been into wrestling ever since.
Yeah.
And yes, my favorite all-time wrestler is Kane.
Okay.
Don't get me wrong. But I remember where it started, and it was this gentleman right here, and the person that's on your shirt, Mr. Cedric.
Yes, sir.
So you might want to put my shirt on. But it's just something in that moment. You know what I'm saying? It's like that with anything that we know we get into. You might be into it for a minute, then I don't care no more. You might be into it, I don't care no more. You know what I mean? Yeah. Whatever it may be, whether it's a hobby or whatever. But there is going to be always something that holds you, it grabs you and just hold on to you and will never ever let go. Like I said, I think it was 2012 when Undertaker and Triple H had that match, that Hell in a Cell match. I got out of wrestling. I mean, I still loved it. I still, was watching people unbox their belts, and I still, was enjoying my belts. I still was ordering my belts too. But one day, a friend of mine who's into wrestling, still is, always been, he was a big WCW guy. This was before, Vince bought him out. He was like, man, you should watch wrestling. You should watch WrestleMania. That was right before the pandemic, 2018, if I'm not mistaken. No, it was 2019. It was 2019. But he was like, you should watch it. I said, man, nah, I'm not really into it no more like I used to be. You know what I'm saying? I used to be a big wrestling fan, blah, blah, blah. I was one of those guys to where when I'm watching wrestling, nothing else existed. If you interrupted me while I'm watching wrestling, somebody better be dying. That's I was into wrestling. Nothing existed on earth. That was my escape. from the world was watching professional wrestling.
Yeah.
You know, like I said, it better be damn important if you interrupted me. You know, that's how I am. That's how I was. And and for some reason, I watched it. I watched that WrestleMania, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. You know, I was like, okay, I remember that. I mean, okay, yeah. And then for some reason, after that, I turned on YouTube, and I don't know why, but the WrestleMania was the WrestleMania. Oh, well, anyway, the match between Kurt Angle and Shawn Michaels was in the recommended section. I clicked on it, and I was watching it. I was like, boy, this was a hell of a match. Shawn Michaels played Kurt Angle's game. You know, it was a ground attack, all that stuff. You know, it was awesome. My love of watching professional wrestling was coming back. You know what I mean? It was coming back. And then I think what really got me to stay with watching it now was this past WrestleMania. Me and Joey was talking about it, and it seemed like every one of those matches was a main event match. It seemed like all of them was. If you was to watch any one of those matches on regular TV, on Raw or SmackDown, it seemed like those would have been main event matches. And to see the live pop for Cody Rhodes, for Stone Cold, for even Pat McAfee's first match, I mean, all of that. That now got me hooked again forever. So I know I went on a little rant right there.
No, it's all good.
But
it's all good.
My favorite moment of wrestling was when I first got hooked watching the Ultimate Warrior come down to the ring. Now, like I said, I'm trying to remember exactly what it was, but I know he ran to the ring. I think was it when he saved Hulk Hogan? I can't remember, but I just remember watching, I was like a little kid in the cannon, so like I was just amazed. That's how I was, and been hooked on it ever since.
Love it. All right, Joey, I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna let you go next because I think my last one is gonna shock y'all.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, everything you guys were talking about the Ultimate Warrior, I felt the same way about Sting the first time I saw him. To me, I'd never seen it. First off, if you want to look back, how many guys that big were doing dives over the top rope, coming off the top rope with flying cross bodies at 6'2", 255 pounds? You know, there wasn't anybody. And he again had the same thing going for him with the colorful. He had a little bit of obviously different look. He had short hair, the spiky Surfer Sting blonde hair with used to have that little the little stinger rat tail thing going on back there while that was still a thing. But you know, I liked him for the same reason. He was extremely colorful, and dude caught wildfire. And speaking of that, 1988 was when he went 60 minutes with Ric Flair at the Clash of Champions for the world title.
I think it was 88.
88. They already had. They knew. Then you look back at it and you do your homework. They knew already that Sting was going to be the world heavyweight champion in 1998. They knew it after that match because he, as green as he was, and we're talking about, he had a few years in the business, but look what he did. He's mostly tagged with Eddie Gilbert in the UWF. His first real good singles run was when he got over to Crockett, and he went 60 minutes with Ric Flair to a draw, and that put him on the map. 2 years later, you had the Great American Bash, July 7th, 1990. Was supposed to happen about 6 months before that, but Sting ended up with that was it a knee injury? It took him out for a while. He was supposed to win it back, like I think at Starrcade or something, way back before. Was supposed to win the world heavyweight title, and then it got side railed, and Sting was on the shelf, and then he ended up working with Flair ended up working with Luger for a while until Sting came back. But that night, Sting winning the NWA World Heavyweight Championship from Nature Boy Ric Flair at the Great American Bash. That was the biggest moment at the time for me. Yeah, watching professional wrestling. Another example of, for the last year, ever since you remember after the Ricky Steamboat Flair rivalry, Flair turned babyface for a little while. The whole Horsemen were baby faces, and then Rick eventually went back. Of course, they went back heel, and then with the Luger stuff, it pretty much had been Flair utilizing the Horsemen and everything to get by and keep the belt. And then this was the night when all the baby faces, the Steiners, Junkyard Dog, and all them were all circling the ring.
The dudes with attitudes.
Yeah. Yeah, that shows you how hot those guys, the Steiner brothers at the time and stuff. But all the baby faces surrounded the ring to keep the Horsemen out of the match. And that was awesome. That was an awesome visual for me to see was all that solidarity with the baby faces and everything like that, and Sting coming away with the championship.
Oh yeah.
That was a good one, man. That was a good one.
Well, you brought back some memories on that one, man. brought back some freaking memories.
Now, let me say this here before you get started. I'm sorry. Now, I know I always say I'm a WWF/E guy, but I did watch a little bit of TNA, WCW, ECW. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Before I bought them out, but I did watch a little bit of that, so I know exactly what Joey's talking about when he was saying that, man. That was
Sting, but Sting back then was a different animal. Like I hate that so much of his exposure is the Crow Sting, because you gotta see how red hot he was back then too. Like God knows, and he was able to do so much more. He wasn't a young guy when he got in the business, because he was already like mid to late 20s, I think, when he broke in. And then for him to, I was completely mesmerized that this guy could just kind of start a slight jog and then clear the top rope, diving out to the floor. And I was like, what the hell? Like, later on you got to see more guys do that, but like at that point, nobody was doing that.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. Keeping with the WCW thing. All right, so from my first wrestling event in 1990, I'm gonna fast forward you all up to 1994. My best friend and I, huge wrestling fans. We did typical wrestling fans. We did fantasy booking. We created our own characters, created our own fantasy wrestling leagues, scripting it out and everything. We became good friends doing that. We went to separate high schools at the time. At his high school, he was part of the journalism team. He said on one. He said, I'm gonna write and see if I can get us press credentials for Halloween Havoc 1994. Yeah, man, they ain't gonna give it to you. Sure enough, he got him. Sure enough, he got him. He got one for him, one for me. Well, I was his photographer. He was the reporter. We were backstage at Halloween Havoc 1994.
Yeah,
that was amazing. Wow, that was amazing. We saw Boss Man. He was throwing a football around. We saw Brutus Beefcake, Kevin Sullivan. Ric Flair stopped and talked to us, got his autograph, whatnot. Just take a picture, whatnot. Walked down to the arena. Vader was just laying down in the middle of the ring. We talked to Dustin Rhodes, Johnny B. Bad, all these folks. It was so that was an amazing experience. We were just going all over the arena that night. I will never forget that night ever.
Wow,
that's a good one, man. Wow. I want to do an honorary mention, y'all, because I was thinking while Joey was talking, I want to do an honorary mention. Now, this one is more personal to me.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if y'all remember me saying this. I used to wrestle. I wasn't a pro. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to say I was up there, because nothing like that. Yeah. But I did mention before in the previous live that I was helping back in 2004 and 2005. I was helping a friend, do a promotion, something, for the local areas, that we was in, you know what I'm saying? Get something going. He was starting a business. So he was basically starting an entertainment business. And like I said, I'm a big wrestling fan. So, of course, I was helping him out. Now, he didn't have, all the glitz and glam, he didn't have all the promotion and stuff. He did word about flyers, for a few months, letting everybody know what the event was going to be, all that good stuff. He didn't even have a belt or nothing. But I told him I'd help him out. You know, I perform for him. You know, I do some wrestling for him and stuff like that, you know, just to help him out. And boy, that was an awesome time. That's how I learned, and I try to tell people, and it even kind of pisses me off today when people talk about wrestling is fake, because I tell people all the time, I'm not trying to say that I myself was a pro. I'm putting that out there right now because I don't want nobody to think that. But when you are getting body slammed in that damn ring, you feel it. Trust me. That shit had me. I did it twice. No, it was 2 events, so I did it 4 times for him. Excuse me. It was 2 different events, but I wrestled 4 times for him. And I was sore for like a good month and a half. And boy, I swear that, whoo-wee, I was like, man, I can't do this no more. Now, the reason why that's an honorary mention for me is because I got to experience a little bit of what these real guys do on TV. Well, like I said, at that time I have never seen it before in person. But if you sit and you pay attention, you can't fake this stuff. If I pick up this pen right here and see how it fell, you can't fake that. I pick up this pen, this is a person. You can't fake that. So I'm like, how the hell can you fake that shit? Now, of course, you know the storylines are fake. Yeah. Well, some of them are actually true because you know how sometimes people can input their real life as things that happen to them in real life into a storyline. So, give or take. But a lot of people don't know this. I want to say that was back in like the mid 50s that somebody screamed out in the crowd, professional wrestling is fake, because it was already designed for a certain person to win. For the most part, that is the only thing that's fake in wrestling, is whoever's going to win. Yeah, I'm already setting up, me and Joey finna have a match. I'm gonna say, Joey, I want you to win this match, but this is how we're gonna play it out, whatever. Or we might play it by ear, with the crowd, whatever the case is. But I already said, Joey, you gonna win. So a fan already knew that and said professional wrestling is fake, blah, blah, blah. And look where it's at now, because there's one person.
Yeah.
I
never said,
had never said it was fake. I always thought that this was cool. The coolest thing I ever saw, even as a little kid up to an adult. This is cool. It's awesome.
Yeah.
And like I said, being in that ring, taking some of those shots and those bumps and accidentally hitting my head because I'm a amateur. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I'm out there. I'm nervous here. My heart pumping like crazy. I'm goosebumps. I'm just nervous. Don't know what the hell I'm doing because now I got like a couple of hundred people watching me. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that at the local Y, and you know what I'm saying. And of course, you get the jitters and you get out of your comfort zone. You forget what it is you're trying to do because, like Joey said, you're green. You don't know what the hell you're doing.
Exactly.
So when I take my first body slam, I'm like, oh, shit. This is not nowhere near what people were saying. You know what I'm saying? Now I know what the hell they're talking about. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And, you take your first punch. I mean, yeah, they punching you, but they know how to make it hit you, but not be as bad as it might seem. You got to know how to sell. You know what I mean? And yeah, of course, bam, I'm like, you know what I'm saying? So for me, that was a great experience doing it and seeing what it was really, well, let me tell you, not really like, but seeing what it was about more on a personal level. Me taking those bumps, me getting hit, me personally getting body slammed, me personally getting thrown into the ropes, and me, being in an arm bar, have my arm like that. I mean, if you do your arm like that right there, you'll feel some discomfort. And ain't nobody grabbing me. See, you feel some discomfort doing that. So imagine somebody holding your arm doing that. You see what I'm saying? So with me personally going through that, it was like, what in the hell is everybody talking about? And seeing how my friend set up this thing, he it was a thing for him that he was doing, and it took him a couple of years to try to get everything set up. And seeing how he had to rent out the Y, seeing how he had to not just rent out the Y, but he had to promote it to the best of his abilities. Like I said, handing out flyers, going up to the mall, going to the park, putting up flyers. Back in those days, you could put flyers on the telephone poles and stuff like that. Can't do that no more. But stuff like that. Letting everybody know and say, hey, this is date. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. Whatever the case is, and seeing stuff like that, it was amazing. You know what I'm saying? Standing, going to people's family barbecue, handing out flyers. Standing outside at the whatever event that's going on at that moment, a basketball game or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Say, hey, I'm doing this. Stuff like that. And
yeah,
that was an eye-opening experience for me. You know what I'm saying? And actually doing all these things. I mean, I can go more and more in depth into it, but I don't want to make this a long ass, rant on my part. So, but I just wanted to throw out that honorable mention because
yeah,
because like I said, it bothers me that people say professional wrestling is fake. I sent y'all that video of somebody doing a backyard wrestling thing, and y'all see how that dude just jumped off the ropes and broke both his legs like that. That was crazy. That's why I say, yeah, it ain't fake like you think. I'm sorry. No, my bad.
It's all good, man.
Well, it looks
It's
like
all
Cedric
good.
had some things to say, though. He was raising his hand.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, like you said, you got in the ring. I actually trained and that worked in the scenes off and on for 15 years.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess that will be my honorable mention. I trained up in Maryland. Cut my teeth there. I had to take some time off because I was in the military as well, and it took me overseas when I was came back, and then I worked in along the Gulf Coast, worked in Alabama, Mississippi.
What years did you work in that area?
From 07, like 07, 09.
Oh, that's about the time I was getting out. Okay.
Okay. So you might know some of these names. Mardi Gras.
Yeah.
Up. What's the name? So this is my first championship belt that I won in Mississippi for Southern Wrestling Alliance. This is the belt I actually won. When I left, I actually took this belt with me. So that's that. I won the light heavyweight title with Mardi Gras in G1's promotion up in Louisiana. I won that for a month. That was before I went overseas to where did I go? I went to Afghanistan for a year. Then after that, I went overseas to Belgium. I got linked up with a promoter there. I started wrestling there. The gimmick I was working on was the United States Cruiserweight title, which caused me to get my first belt, my first custom belt made, which is this right here, the United States Cruiserweight Championship. And I was taking this all over Europe, saying I was the United States Cruiserweight Champion. If you Google it, there's no other United States Cruiserweight Champion. So I thought that was the angle I was going with.
So it reminds me of Mike Jackson in the Alabama Junior Heavyweight title. Like he carried that damn thing around. There was no damn Alabama Junior Heavyweight Championship. Like he made that up. But he always had that damn belt with him at indie shows. God knows. He's still wrestling in his 70s. I'm freaking. Did you see that? You know what I'm talking about? Extra Mike Jackson. That he's bald headed. He was a jobber in the 80s in the Crockett's and stuff like that. Dude is still wrestling.
It's still.
Yeah.
Still.
Speaking of you saying that, like now that we're mentioning those type of things, see, I didn't include any personal experiences because I thought we were just talking about like wrestling moments in general. But
yeah,
so I came in the wrestling business in a very weird way. And this is a true story. I grew up in the Memphis, Tennessee area, so I grew up around Lawler country and all that.
Yeah.
And funny enough, there's a guy, I don't know if you ever heard this name, Bill Behrens.
Yep.
He was
NWA Wildside.
There you go. he was a television syndicator in the 80s and 90s. That was his shoot job. He was a TV syndicator, and so
that explains a lot, actually.
Yeah, he got in the wrestling business because Lawler and Jerry Jarrett had him do their syndication for television outside the Memphis area. So they had TV, they had TV5 in Memphis. They had up in Louisville, Kentucky, they had local airing of their TV show. They had a lot of that. But then they later on in the 90s, I guess around 93, 94, that's when Bill Behrens became the syndicator for a lot of wrestling TV. Well, anyway, like fast forward. So I was still in high school. I was a senior. This is 1997. And I had met this guy who started up a TV show, and that's how I got in the wrestling business in the first place. Was they were just filming television shows, and they got in, and I got in the wrestling business through him, but he was working with Bill Behrens, and that's how he was going to start up this TV show. So Bill Behrens could add it to all the pro wrestling content he was putting like on America One and all these syndicated channels. That's one thing they don't have back really anymore, I don't think, is syndicated TV. But he was doing a lot of that stuff. We got into that. And sure enough, we learned how to promote professional wrestling from Bill Behrens. And if you know it, and NWA Wildside was how a lot of guys got their start, including AJ Styles, including R-Truth. You look at, there's a list of who's who in the business that got their start in NWA Wildside. And do you know how much money they made working for NWA Wildside? $0. Because Bill Behrens made money in the professional wrestling business by not paying anybody a damn thing, because he had a platform. And do you know who else didn't pay anybody any money? TV5, USWA, CWA, Memphis Wrestling. It didn't pay anybody to work TV. That's the big thing. That TV show that they had in the studio, they didn't pay anybody a single dime. Well, anyway, long story short, when we started up we had a TV show when I first got in, and all it was me when I was still in high school getting in trouble and not going to school and skipping school to work in a makeshift TV studio. And I did get kicked out, and I got kicked out of high school, and then basically hit the road from there. But my first wrestling show, live show for professional wrestling I ever went to, it was sometime, I cannot remember exactly what time it was, but it was in 1998, and it was in Greenwood, Mississippi, and I cannot remember the name of the indie company it was, but they drew 1,500 people to the LaFleur County Civic Center there, which was a big indie show, like pretty big indie show. And I will tell you, I'll go one better in a minute as far as drawing on the indies, as far as like what people don't know. But like that show, the main event was Jake the Snake Roberts against Wildfire Tommy Rich. Like that's a match you probably never thought would happen. And they had King Mabel wrestled. This is before he went back up as Viscera. He wrestled the one-man gang, so they had the super huge fight. And do you remember Tommy Rogers of the Fantastics?
Yeah.
He wrestled Greg the Hammer Valentine there, and Greg was their champion. He was the Southern heavyweight champion of this company. But yeah, they that was my first event ever working as part of like TV crew and just starting to get like my first opportunity to do any kind of like live announcing for professional wrestling. But that led me, Bill Behrens and stuff like that, like led me to like 1999 being backstage at Monday Nitro and getting to do you remember R&B Security? The Russo and Bischoff thing?
Oh, I think that was around the time I kind of drifted away from wrestling a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
When Russo got into WCW, that's when I started getting opportunities to do shots up there.
Okay.
And basically, and even though I was not a wrestler, as long as you could take a bump, you could get paid $300 to be Russo and Bischoff security, and all you had to do was wear a pair of blue jeans and that stupid R&B Security t-shirt. But that was a big moment for me, and all I did was go out there and bump. I took a Kevin Nash boot. I can't remember. I got thrown around a couple times and I got the shit knocked out of me one time. Probably, and if I'm not mistaken, it was it was a show Goldberg was on, and I can't remember if I got hit by him, but you know, people, that's what people didn't want to do. And it never changed with Bill Goldberg. Like even back then, nobody wanted to take a bump from him because he didn't know how to work. He still never learned how. So he never learned how to work.
Jeez, man. That's awesome.
But that's, yeah, they pay you $300 to go out there and take a couple bumps for these guys. $300, like unbelievable. But we, this company I worked for, the very last company I still work for in Mississippi, is now back up and running in Kentucky.
Okay.
But it's called New South Wrestling, and it's a buddy of mine. But they when we ran down in Mississippi, we were in the Delta, and we probably drew one of the biggest independent wrestling crowds that ever happened in the United States. We drew almost 5,000 people to
nice.
Now this goes back to Jeff Jarrett broke 1,000 guitars and never drew a dime. Well, he drew that house. Like it was him, and it was in 2004, and it was him defending the NWA world title back when NWA TNA was still kind of young.
Yeah.
And in the beginning of 2004, it was him and a guy named Ricky Murdoch, who was the NWA national champion at the time.
Okay.
It was like supposed to be a big deal and Bill Behrens was the president of the NWA at the time, and
right.
That's a big push he wanted, was the national champion versus the world champion. And Jeff drew that house. So it's kind of funny that Jeff never drew a dime, but you know, we were at like 48-17, something like that, as far as the crowd goes, and Jeff drew the house. There was no other big names on that show. The only other guy that had any notoriety was Kevin Northcutt. Most people didn't know who he was. Like he was in TNA at the time.
Exactly.
Red shirt security.
I remember him. I remember him in Louisiana.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
So Kevin Northcutt.
I'll tell you what happened to him. I know what happened to him. He went to prison.
That's what I heard. That's what I heard.
He went to prison, and that was the end of Kevin Northcutt.
Yeah.
He's not there anymore, but his life's ruined because he messed around with some adolescent age young lady.
Yeah.
And which was so shocking because Kevin, like, I'll never forget, like, we had shows in Jackson, Mississippi, and I remember we were at the baseball stadium there, the minor league stadium, and we had Buff Bagwell, Disco Inferno, a whole bunch of guys on that show. And so we did I went to this autograph signing they did at a Hooters with them and stuff. So I was there just helping collect money basically for Buff and Disco, and Northcutt was there. And he and, if you were around at that time, he and John Saxon were running as the New Orleans Fight Club.
John Saxon, that's a name right there.
You know him?
I know him. I know him.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, very knowledgeable. Very knowledgeable. Excellent worker. Him and Scott Anthony put on some freaking classics down. Yes, Steve Anthony. There you go. Yeah,
those are my running buddies, man. I was on the road with them for a long time. Those guys are the king of the 450. Steve Anthony. Yeah.
Yes, Steve, I don't know why I said Scott Anthony. Yes, Steve Anthony. Yeah. So worked on a couple shows with John. He put on he brought down Les Thatcher.
Yeah.
And they ran a weekend clinic over in Mississippi, and that was a good time right there. Vordell Walker was there as well.
Yeah. He's a good.
So he's still, that joker still look the same.
Yeah, he has not aged a bit. Saxon
he has not.
Different now because he and I are still Facebook buddies, and he's gray-headed, and but he's I'm surprised it took John Saxon so long to freaking finally quit. But
yeah,
John Saxon's one of his best assets in the locker room was also his downfall, his mouth. He never tried to control it, and I love that about him because I've been at some locker rooms where some guys needed everything he was giving to them.
Exactly. He knows what he's saying. And he wasn't afraid to let you know about it.
So we at Greenville they had trained this one guy up. I'll never forget. He was awful. He was the drizzling shits as a wrestler, and he just kept going messed up and messing up. So we had Psycho Sid Vicious in there that night in the main event. And if you ever watch Sid wrestle, you know what his gimmick is. And if he starts laying out bodies, the bodies are supposed to stay laid out. And this kid
No, he didn't.
took a
No, he
Sid Vicious
didn't. No.
power bomb.
No.
And less than a minute later was walking to the back.
Oh no.
So when he walked back through that curtain, there was Saxon with this one right here and laid him out with a live
Oh.
right. And he stood over him after he knocked him down, and he said, it was a learning lesson, because he said, have you ever seen his gimmick? He goes, have you ever seen his gimmick? People get stretchered out. And he's like, and you got up in less than 60 seconds after taking a power bomb from Sid Vicious. And he goes, I bet you don't get up after that. He goes, that's why people like that think we're all a bunch of damn hillbillies back here and don't know anything. And boy, that guy, look, he's sitting there on the ground crying, holding his eye, boo-hoo-hoo, like he got hit. But yeah, he had a shiner after it too. He learned.
You think?
Jesus but Christ. He needed it. He needed it, because I mean, yeah, it was the Sid Vicious gimmick. It was a car crash out there. He's choke slamming everybody, giving them the boot, power, throwing them around, and it's, when he gets done, it's just a graveyard. It's just a stack of bodies around, and he's going to take a walk back, and the crowd's going to get what they wanted.
Exactly.
And I mean, like, and I don't care who you are, nobody's too good to take that bump, especially when you're trying to put people back in there the next time you come back and stuff. Like, you want to send them home happy, you want to give them,
Oh my gosh, man.
And yeah, for him to get up, he took a power bomb and got back up less than a minute later and was walking to the back like nothing happened. Yeah. And Saxon waited on him and punched him straight in the eye as soon as he came through that curtain. He waited on him.
Yeah. I wonder what happened with the old lady he used to be with him back in the day.
Are you talking about Danielle? Yeah, I'll probably get in trouble for saying this, but you're never supposed to have a relationship with the rat. All right. And,
it is what it is, brother.
Yeah,
it is what it is.
She went on. I talked to her a few years back. She ended up having. I think she's married with kids, and he got married to somebody else now, and he's happy. He runs a pawn shop down there in Gulfport, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because, oh boy, small world, ain't it?
Yeah, she was a mess, boy. But she yeah. She was a looker. I'll tell you that. I'll say that much. Well, that's how it started. How she got. Oh boy, this probably shouldn't be aired. But
don't dive in, brother. Don't dive in. We'll talk offline.
McGee, Mississippi, Battle Zone Wrestling. If you know where that was, yeah.
Yeah, Battle Zone. McGee.
That's the company that was okay. So that spawned off of the company that we started up in the Delta.
Okay.
That was the continuation of NWA Mississippi, and then Danny McClain, the boss, ended up moving. He lived in Cleveland, Mississippi, up in the Delta where we lived, and then he moved. He's the one that got me in and had the TV studio and stuff. And then he moved down there to take a job, and then that's where he started that. That was the beginning and the end of me wanting to be in the professional wrestling business. When he got in there and leased this little building, and then you couldn't hold but 110 people in there, and you break the fire.
That was a little Shaq and McGee.
Did you ever work there?
I worked. I think I worked 2 or 3 shows there.
Yeah,
2 or 3. It wasn't that million. The Williamsons were nice. They were nice people. Pop Williamson, Miss D. They were nice to me.
Yeah, but they should have never been in the business. That's another
story for another day.
Well, I mean, that's on the camera, I guess. I mean, there were guys that. Danny took where Danny started to go downhill is when he started getting money marks involved, and they were the original. They were part of that, and then he got a hotel sponsor that was putting money into the show and stuff like that. That's when you go downhill. And then I've seen it, I've seen it happen too many times. You get guys in the business behind the curtain that don't know nothing about it and probably shouldn't. Like, for instance, what's his name? The Pharaoh of Funk should have never been allowed to bump in the ring. And I'm going to tell you why, because we had a show somewhere and he teamed up with Marvin, Brother Heavenly Love.
Heavenly Love. That's another name. Okay.
Brother Love, that Brother Love, not the Bruce.
Yeah,
Pritchard
yeah. I
guy.
know what you're talking about.
So they did a tag match and they wrestled some of Bill Barron's guys, one of which was Sal Renaro, who's in the current NWA, and
Right.
Skeeter Frost, another dude that was wrestling for Bill Barron's at the time. And that was because we had a tournament in Jackson for the vacant NWA North American tag belts. And the fight, and it was done to put the titles on the New Orleans Fight Club on Northcutt and Saxon.
Okay.
Because the intention was for them to start touring as the champions and stuff. Well, but the belts were with Bill Barron's, so he just asked that we book a couple of his guys so they could come bring the belts, and they did the tag tournament. Well, anyway, they did a tag match, and they got a lot of heat with some people because they blew the Pharaoh up in the ring, and turns out he has asthma. Okay, well, you probably should have never been in there. Like, that's the way I look at it, because if you know how those guys work in Wildside, they're all little guys. They're all used to working that cruiserweight style. They're used to taking a lot of bumps. They're used to, there's a lot of action. There's a lot of movement. And they're facing guys their size. So I think their intention was like, okay, we're going to go out here and work a junior heavyweight type match, like.
Oops.
Well, they blew him up, and he's, needed his inhaler and couldn't get it in the ring. And they took heat about that. And I just was back there like, well, I mean, he shouldn't be in there. I mean, and that's the bottom line right there. And then he's still in the business now down there, and they still ain't drawing anybody. So like, that's I mean, they're still, I've talked to some of those guys, and I hate to see it. The only wrestling company that I think is doing anything in Mississippi right now is EPW, and that's up in the Corinth area. And that's what they're doing some stuff, and they got sharing talent with like the Memphis Wrestling that's up there now.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
it's like a lot of stuff. I want to say south of Hattiesburg.
Yeah.
But,
no. It just shouldn't have been done.
And that bar could still probably raise a little higher than that. So yeah.
Well, I mean, if you're going to promote if you're going to have a wrestling show, what's the goal? To me, the goal is to put cash in my pocket. And they don't have that mentality at all. And that's one thing that drove me out of the business was nobody wanted to make money anymore. Like Bob Serio up in the Delta that ran in Greenville and had that hot house for a long time. He made money, and then when he stopped making money, he got out of the business. And people were like, "Oh no! If you keep promoting shows and you're digging in your own pockets, you know what you are? You're a mark. I'm sorry, like you shouldn't. You can't. I'm not going to lose money to do that. And that's what in 2000." We're really about 05. Like my whole shift in professional wrestling, and this is me being in for almost 7 years by this time, was, well, no, I would say about 03. About 03. My mentality was like, okay, I'm tired of paying my dues. Like if I'm going to show up at a show and I'm going to work, I'm going to get paid. I'm going to get paid well. Like,
nope. You weren't there for a hot dog and a handshake.
Not anymore. I did that. Yeah, I did that at first. I slept on hotel room floors, and I showed up early and set the ring up and everything. I did what you do, and I rode in other people's cars to make the shows. And again, and for a while, didn't get a payout. Didn't get a payout. But I got that's how I got into business and stuff. And then eventually I want, a couple $100 in a hotel room and stuff. And, at that point I've done that, and I'm not going to do it anymore. And I had worked for major companies and stuff like that. And in 03 is when I got a real like talent agent and worked with a real agent. And at that point I got paid $1,500 to come to Jackson, Mississippi and do cheesy lawyer commercials all day.
Nice, bro.
Yes, like for
Nice.
what's his name, Richard Schwartz in Jackson, Mississippi. One call, that's all. That and Walker, Texas Lawyer. Those guys.
Yeah.
This company was out of Jackson, Mississippi, and they did them for more than just in Mississippi. They did cheesy lawyer commercials, and I'm like, if I can make $1,500 in a day doing this, then I ain't got no reason to show up at some dingy old building anymore. And I'm going, again, I'm going to this kind of stuff, and I'm getting, they got catering, they got, and I'm getting paid.
Yeah.
And I'm like, the hell with that. And then I started not taking bookings with professional wrestling, and people saw that literally I worked some of the boys because they saw me in one of the commercials, and they were like, "Is that why you're not working anymore? Did you get in a car accident?" And I was like, no, it's fake. It's a work too, man. The whole damn thing's a work. Like everything on TV is a work, man. So I'm just like, yeah, it's a work, man. Like the whole cheesy, got hurt in a car accident. This is the guy I called. Yeah, but it paid. And then, so, that's how, yeah. So, and then when, I realized the wrestling business had just become about playing wrestler on the weekend and not making any money, I was like, well, it's probably time for me to go. Like, that's what, and then the only time I've worked in the business since 2008 has been for WWE.
Okay.
And the last time of which was 2015. So even that was a while back, and that was at 2 live events in Hampton and Norfolk. And I took Greg Hamilton's place as the live event host.
Okay.
Yep. And that's like a $350 payout per night.
Nice. Very nice.
Why even work if I can't get paid? What the heck happened to Man Up?
That's a good question. Is he just in the background listening to us? Hello.
Is he started the video?
Hello.
I feel like we've just ran way long now because he just disappeared.
Yeah, we were just ranting because we trying to hurry up, make sure we had no dead air while he was not here.
Lachlan, what's up?
Hello.
Yeah, you can. Oh, sorry. He might want to edit all that out of the video.
Yeah, he gonna have a heck of an editing job.
And I can't see the comments, so I have no idea if anybody's watching this.
I haven't seen no comments, honestly.
I don't think you can see them unless you're the person that originated. Unless, because I'm on my laptop in the group too, and I don't even see it.
Normally they still pop up, whatnot.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, for some reason, like if I host the live, I can see all the comments and stuff, but if somebody else does it, I can't see it for whatever reason. I don't know why.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I don't see like no comments or nothing. So yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's gonna have a little bit of editing to do.
Rick's still here. Did he forget? Did he go eat? Like,
yeah, I'm like, I wonder, like, might as well give me a sandwich or something. Like they talking, they got it. Like, no.
What's gonna kill me is if he's like out at a restaurant. Like, how long have we been talking?
Exactly. Okay, I thought he had left in our group chat. Nope, he didn't leave anything there.
No, his camera's still on. But it's now been like what, at least 15 minutes since he disappeared.
Man up, man up, man up, man up.
There was an Air Force officer that was wrestling on the Gulf Coast for a while. I don't know if you remember that dude. I can't remember his name. He reminded me of what Nick Aldis looks like now. Like, he was ripped. That guy, and he was big like that too. He was like,
I think Ryan Ocean, if I'm not mistaken.
No.
Wasn't Ryan Ocean?
No, that guy is in the military too, isn't he? He might have been.
I want to say he is.
I know who that guy is. I don't think
So
he got
about
in
that,
business
fella?
till after I was
There he is. Hey, we said that you gonna have a hell of an editing job to do because all of that you gonna have to get rid of.
So
But when
about
you
that,
left,
I had an important phone call I had to take. I didn't know it was
I
coming.
thought you was like out at the Outback Steakhouse or something.
I know, right? Like, oh shoot, the live is still going on. Maybe they'll still be there when I get back.
Sorry
He's
about
sitting there
that,
chopping
y'all.
up his
But,
steak. He's like, hold on now.
but I had an important phone call. I thought it was coming in a couple of days, but it was today and it blew my mind. It skipped
yeah.
my mind. But sorry.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Yeah.
you was talking.
Yeah, basically just go back everything that we was talking about from Memphis wrestling on. You just go ahead and delete all that out. That don't need you on YouTube because that was just us. That was just us chopping it up.
We found out we knew a lot of the same people in at least in the southeastern kind of indie wrestling and stuff like that. We knew a lot of the same people, and then there may have been some comments about some ring rats and something like that.
You go ahead and delete that before you upload this to YouTube.
But before I had got that phone call, you was talking, Cedric. You was showing the belts that you had got while you was performing.
Yeah.
I have one, but this is not a belt while I was performing, but it reminds me of me performing.
Okay.
And that's my Texas heavyweight belt right here.
Nice. Very nice.
The BTP, that's a promotion up in Dallas, Texas. It's Big Texas Pro Wrestling. They took the pro out and they're just now Big Texas Wrestling.
Okay.
But the reason why I got this belt is because it reminded me of when I was actually, wrestling. And like I said, the guy that I was doing it for was a friend. He didn't even have a belt or anything. He was just, doing something for his community. And that's what made me want to get that belt. And that's what also made me want to get this NWA Texas heavyweight belt right here.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know if y'all remember this. The most famous person to hold this belt, I bet y'all can't remember.
Well, who are we saying? Who the most famous one was?
Yeah, to hold this belt.
Probably the Ultimate Warrior. To be honest, he had it.
Well, probably so, but I think at that particular time, I'm gonna say no. But Jerry the King Lawler.
Lawler had that one?
Yep.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I got to. Yeah. Lawler's had 10 million freaking belts.
To me,
I ain't think. Was that what was in the world class?
Yeah. That was back with the NWA. I don't know why, but I keep saying NWO, but it's the NWA. They retired that belt, of course, but that's what made me want to get those two belts because they reminds me of what
Okay, one time, yeah. It's only one time. Okay,
I'll be darned.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, a lot of people held that belt because I don't know if do you guys know you guys remember Brickhouse Brown?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I met Brickhouse up in Jackson.
Yeah. And he lived there for a long time. He's from Alabama, I want to say originally, but he lived in Memphis for a long time. Because I mean, he was a Memphis wrestling mainstay for years and years, but he did live down in Jackson in the 2000s, and he was a big time that guy helped me get connections and stuff like that. That guy knew everybody in the business. He worked and he knew everybody in WWE. A lot of people don't know he did shots for them in the 2000s as a referee. Like, it was some of the weirdest stuff, but Brickhouse Brown was refereeing on WWE programming and nobody even knew it. But he was the Texas heavyweight champion. That was one of his titles he held in his career.
Oh, okay. I did not know that. Learn something.
Brickhouse, February of 1989. Jerry Lawler, December of 1989. Texas heavyweight champion.
I'll be darned.
Well, see, that's why I say I like doing these videos with other wrestling fans because you can learn something. And you can also, hear some other people's experiences and things. So that's why I like doing these things, man. But
man.
There's one guy I could tell you to look up if you've never seen him. There's a guy that wrestled at Memphis Wrestling for years and years, and he was at one point you remember when Memphis Wrestling was kind of working with the WWF?
Mm-hmm.
Like they were feeding talent and vice versa. Well, one time they had the Nation of Domination in Memphis Wrestling too at the time, and this guy was in it with them, and it's a guy named Reggie B. Fine.
Reggie B. Fine.
I remember that name. I remember that.
Reggie, I'd never seen somebody so committed to getting heat. This man had a championship belt made up that said Unified Heavyweight Champion on it. Like I can't even. Whenever he stole the belt from Jerry Lawler but didn't win it, he didn't win it, so he got his own belt made up. And the one thing about Reggie B. Fine is it could be 100 degrees in Memphis, Tennessee outside with full-on humidity, and Reggie B. Fine wore this really nice white fur coat. He always had that damn fur coat on. Look him up, I'm telling you. And I got one of the highlights of my wrestling career was doing commentary with Reggie B. Fine. Like this man could spit some stuff out of his mouth that, I mean, he had a sharp tongue, and let me tell you, like, I'm just doing the play-by-play, and this man's doing the color, and please believe he was good. Like, the stuff he could say, just him and Brickhouse Brown. Brickhouse Brown could make up poems on the fly. He was like a country Lanny Poffo in that sense. Like, like, remember how Lanny was good at those poems, the genius. And but Brickhouse had some ones that were a little bit, PG-13 to R rated sometimes that he said that I probably shouldn't say here, but definitely had me cracking up when I was doing commentary at some shows. And Reggie and Brickhouse were also USWA tag team champions together, and that stuff was unbelievable. Those guys are so good.
Like I said,
so many belts that I need to get. It's crazy.
Telling you.
I told y'all. I texted it to y'all. I know I got that.
You ain't done. You ain't done. You ain't done. Hey, have a couple more of these sessions with us. You ain't done. You ain't done.
We're gonna treat it like Ric Flair coming out of retirement. We're gonna be like 2 years from now, it's gonna be like, all right, fine, I ordered another belt. And it's gonna be like, we're gonna make a big deal about it. We're gonna have a live on it, and it's gonna be like, Man Up returns to belt collecting.
I'm just saying. No, again.
Hey,
I love it.
I did say that once before that I was done.
You did.
But then I ended up getting a few more belts after that, and I said, you know what? Okay, this one that I got coming, I'm done. I'm done.
Do you know now that I've seen your big gold, now I think I've got to have me one like that, because that thing looks incredible, that CNC. Like, there's some belts I don't really care to get CNC or anything like that, but that big gold is fire. Like he can, I mean, you can make a big gold with acid etching and do that kind of stuff. But man, like, I almost thought about getting a Fandu Lux crumb rind just because, I mean, it's the same thing. It's CNC, and it looks great. But then, I mean, the one thing about Fandu is you're paying $800 for a belt in the leather track.
Hey, we got a comment. All right. We got a comment.
Somebody's on.
Jerry say, I just started my collection, and I want more.
That's what I'm talking about. All right, Jerry, here's your challenge, sir. 5 belts that you want to have made. 5, go. I want to see what he comes back with. Because I'm curious too. I'm curious too. And which ones do you have in your collection right now? I want to know.
Yeah.
See, you're gonna be motivation for Man Up, because you're gonna post these belts that you want. Man Up will like, you know what? I want that too. Except I'm gonna get my own interpretation of it, and I'm gonna get it made.
They're gonna take one from Man Up, and they're gonna come out with a custom that none of us ever even thought about. Like,
exactly.
We're gonna see it and be like, oh no, like no.
Man Up is gonna be king of customs by the time we're done with him.
Because I already told Joey, I sent him a picture of one that I was thinking about getting before I said I was done.
Stop thinking about it. Just go ahead and do it. Stop thinking about it. Just do it.
And
Awesome.
I was like, yeah, I think I'm done, man. I think I'm done.
Nah, no. I'm gonna challenge you to get up to 32 like me.
I'll never get that many. I'll
No,
never
I'm
get
the
that many.
trendsetter, man. Up and down.
I believe in you. I believe in
know,
you.
Do you know I'm the first person that I know of to get a bootleg one of what made like this, because this is the Leather Rebels that was made off of the original sketches for the Crumb Rind.
Mm-hmm.
Now you see a lot of boots out there that are NWA Big Golds, and people claiming that was the original thing. But I got this picture from Leather Rebels, the people that bought the stupid artwork from Crumb or from somebody, and then did it. So now, but you see somebody's getting this exact belt. So man up, I know for a fact that you with the hybrid Big Eagle, I've seen like 24 of them things. People love that thing. They got inspired, and now I guarantee you've seen that on other belt groups made by other makers now. And Man Up started that one. He was the first one to come out with the hybrid Big Eagle.
Yep. There you go. That's the first belt I ever had made by Jagu, right there. That's
you got that NWA Big Gold. I like the one that Jagu posted today. It's on my list. It's on my list.
I just got to do. He was unable to get the little stones for this, so I got to. I've been talking to Antonio Mendoza, the dude that's in the group that does leathering and stuff now. And I know he showed me on Amazon where you can buy the jewels and the glue and stuff like that. I just got to get off my lazy self and order them and put the jewels in the little crown. But that's one thing I was talking about. Pakistan makers sometimes can't get all the things that we'd like for them to get. And it was either it was either let the belt sit there and wait until he could get them in, the jewels for the crown, or just go ahead and get it. And I just said, no, go ahead and send it to me.
Jerry says his son got him the Universal title off the website.
Okay.
I want on like old school W championship like Flair had.
Okay.
I want WCW.
I think that's WCW TV title.
Yep.
Which WCW TV title? Because there was a couple of them now. Now there's the last one that they had. They had that one with the world in the middle, that gray one.
The more generic one. The last one they had, the one Booker T had, the little kind of one that looked like the Big Gold but smaller kind of.
Yeah.
That concept. But it was the other one that you want was the NWA TV title. Tully had. Okay, so you want that classic TV title. There you go. Show it to him. Show it to him, Charlie. Show it to him.
Uh-oh.
You know what?
Oh man, look at y'all now.
So Jerry, did you want one with the red strap? This one here? Or let's see if Joey comes with the black strap.
Yes.
I got the black.
That's what they want.
So Jerry, do you want this one or do you want that one? Which one do you want?
Either one you can get. But yeah.
See, we're going to have to do another video, guys. All three of us showing off our collection now. We got
red. Oh, he go with the red. Yes.
That's the original for sure. The red one is, but there's something I liked about the I've always liked about the black with the red backing on it. So this is the version that Sting had, Steve Austin had, stuff like that. But the red strap one, I may have to get that one too and just have both of them, just because that's the red strap one is the one that Arn carried during his first reign, and I said that was one of my favorite moments. So it's like, I'm going to end up with 2 daggum NWA TV titles.
Hey, I'm going to throw a challenge to you too. I'm challenging both of y'all to get custom-made belts, something nobody ever seen. I'm challenging you two.
I'm already there, dude. I'm already there.
Besides my shop belts, that's pretty much all I got.
Oh. Well, the only real custom one I got was that NWA.
Shut up, blow your mind real quick.
Okay.
So this is my custom World's Heavyweight Championship.
Oh.
Okay. Nice. Nice.
Now, I got this made back in, oh hell, I've had this a while, but
Very nice. Wow.
got over 100 jewels in this damn thing.
Is that from like it looks like it was made in America.
Yeah, it was made in America.
Yeah, that doesn't look. I mean, I'm not trying to say it. Pakistani belts don't look good, but that looks like an American-made belt there.
You remember JP Belts?
Yeah.
No, I don't think I heard it.
Yeah, he made this one.
Okay, okay.
Something about the way the tooling is on the leather. That looks like American leather.
Yeah.
That's
something
nice.
about it.
Well, see,
Yeah.
see, every time I do a video, I tell people, we all seen the big network belts, the big gold. We all seen all of that.
Yeah.
Different, you know what I'm saying? You know, do
I'm
something.
all about the custom. I'm all about the custom.
Different.
I love it.
Because as y'all probably see, at least I want to say I got like 10 belts that nobody ever seen that I had made. Now there are a couple of them that I've got that I've seen before, like on like this one right here. I forgot which one, but this came off a WWE 2K game.
Yeah.
I think it was 2K13 or whatever, 14 maybe. I forget exactly, so don't quote me on the year. But
yeah, I do like that one. That's cool.
But this is the one that I like the most, and all of my belts are very, very custom, and I like them because it's showing your creativity, showing what you could think of, and you just never know. The WWE might use your you know what I'm saying?
Well,
or whatever company.
Yeah, right. Shit.
Hey, you know, like for example, I sent y'all the picture. I sent y'all the picture of that guy telling me this ain't the real Universal Championship. This one right here.
No, it looks better.
The fan.
And I was like, and now that's all I like to get is custom made belts. So like right here, let me pan over a little bit. There go my United States belt right there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But that's what I try to tell everybody. Get something different. We all seen the spinners right here.
Yeah.
We all seen whatever. Do something different.
Yeah, I agree. Like I need to do that. I don't have a lot of belts either. I only have like 8 belts. So for me, I'm still collecting. Yeah, I didn't get into this until 3 years ago.
Oh, okay.
And then I went on deployment. I was on deployment for like most of 2020, so I wasn't ordering anything then. I got in.
Nice. Oh, thank you, Jerry. Thank you, Jerry. Since Jerry say they like it, let me give an up close look on it. Hold on.
Yes.
There you go.
There go my United States belt.
Very nice.
Yeah. I like how the gold looks like it's shinier than the nickel or the silver looking. Is that silver part? Is that paint or?
Yeah, I painted it.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I like it though. It looks good though.
It was all gold, and
That's
I said,
right.
I had got bored one time, and I said, you know what? I'm gonna paint it because I want to see, and I started painting
some contrast to it though. I like it.
And I'm the one who painted it. Well, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what it looked like. That's my United States belt.
Nice.
Wow.
And if it's good on the shoulder, it's a very big belt.
Nice.
Shout out to Jagu.
He's raising, and I can tell you from when I started getting a couple belts from him back in 2019, like to me the biggest thing is his leather has like come so far. Like I want to say when I first got a belt from him, like I got a WCW US belt from him, but I just felt like the leather was okay. It was real leather and everything like that, but the tooling wasn't as deep as where he's got it now. And I think that's one of the plates are good and everything, but I feel like where the biggest miss is in Pakistani makers is the leather. Like a lot of makers can make some decent looking plates, but the leather, man, like that's where like if you can do some good leather, then you're winning. And Jagu, exactly. This is one I just got too. Like I was blown away by like the depth of the tooling and stuff like that was really good on this belt. I was really impressed by how good he's gotten there. He's gotten the stamps to go around like the logo plates and stuff, which a lot of, I mean, I'm not saying he's the only one, obviously not, but
Right,
He didn't
right,
used to
right.
do that kind of stuff. Like so that's one thing that and I was showing because our raffle winner is getting the TV title, and I was like, yeah, he can do the NWA stamp on it now, which again, not TV accurate. I don't care. I like it.
Yeah.
See, that's what he did with this one here. These side plates are removable.
That is cool. Yeah.
Yeah, these are
Nice.
removable. And he even put I don't know if you can see it that well. He even put the WWE logo in there.
Yeah,
Right there.
he's got all the.
Nice.
He's even got like the scratch logo stamp too. I
Yeah.
saw, and he
And
got.
this is not. And y'all know this ain't no belt they ever used.
Of course not. No, no way. It's
Well,
not. It's not TV accurate.
These side plates are removable. It might take me a minute to remove so I can show you, but
It's all good. But Jerry said he needs to know who to go to for my belts. Hey,
I mean,
there you go.
Jagu.
you're in the group, like.
I mean, Jagu. That's what. Okay, put it like
Okay.
this. Ever since I got this belt, this is my first belt I ever got from Jagu. I haven't went nobody else.
Yeah.
And like you, Joey, I've been in this for like maybe 3 years. I admit I went crazy. I bought a whole bunch of belts at one time.
Spent more money than I have, but
But
that's okay though.
But
I'm gonna spend it eventually. I just haven't spent it.
and this one here, this belt here is just for you, Joey. Just for you, because you said you like it. My custom-made belt for my favorite sports teams.
Oh yes.
Yes,
I do like that.
yes.
That's my favorite sports team, my Houston Rockets and Houston Texans.
With the nice blue strap too. I like that. Like it's
Yeah.
Awesome, Jerry. Good stuff.
Yeah.
New to the group. You're gonna check it out. Yeah. If you got any questions, hit any of us up.
Yeah.
We're on the group. Hit us up if you got questions.
And I've always said it since I've been doing business with Jagu. I'm like,
Yeah.
you don't have to get all your belts from him. You don't have
No.
to. There's lots of makers out there. There's WWE Shop. There's still Figs Inc. belts out there on the market. There's ROH Shop belts. Whoever those made, I don't remember if Figs Inc. made those. So there's a lot of resources. I just hope you would give Jagu a chance to make you at least one or two. Like at least, like you could. There's a lot of belt makers again, but I think for the dollars you'll spend versus what you get, you'll be pretty satisfied.
Excuse me.
Bless you.
Sorry. Thank you. Sorry. Okay, I'm gonna go the other way with that. I'm gonna say only go to Jagu.
You can do that too, and you won't be. You're in good hands. I mean, you're not gonna. You're gonna be all right.
I'm sorry. That's the thing about the hobby as well. You're still new to whatnot. There are different people that you can go to whatnot. Like Joey and Man Up. They have an extensive Jaguar collection. I have belts from different makers. Some of them I got from the makers. Some of them I got second hand from collectors. So there is definitely ways that you can go about getting the belt that you want if you don't want to necessarily go to the maker. So there's different ways that you can go about doing this as well.
Yeah. Like I said, my very first belt I ever bought was the Big Eagle. It was from eBay. Like I said, I was new to it, didn't know what I was doing. Then I bought another belt. It was also
What is
from
this?
What? Go ahead now. Oh,
like that.
suck it now. Fantasy football.
I like that nickel plating too. I'm a
Yes.
junkie for that. Boy, I'm telling you.
I didn't get this from a maker. I forgot what site. I got this from actual. It was actually. I want to say Yahoo, but this is pretty damn good for it.
It looks like zinc plates.
Yeah, it do. It look good.
Nothing wrong with that at all.
Heck no.
That's a
I
lot of
just want a little-
snaps, too.
little
Good
trophy.
Lord Almighty, they put a heck of a snap box on there. That's a lot of
They
snaps.
They did.
Oh, hold up, y'all. I just beat lung cancer, so I want to get a belt to symbolize my.
What did it be?
He just beat lung cancer, so he want to get a belt to symbolize his battle.
Yes, please do it. God
Yes.
bless.
Hey. Let
me
Jago come up with something for you, brother. Trust me.
let me tell you something right now, Jerry. I want to give you two. I want to tell you two things. One, As a person, you know, my family has dealt with cancer. My dad passed away from cancer when I was 6 years old, so congratulations. My grandmother beat breast cancer, but she just passed away, I guess, from old age. You know, she died when she was like 97. So, and then
That's a
my best
blessing.
friend, who I know from childhood since I was like what 8 years old, 9 years old, he died of cancer like 3 years ago. So to hear somebody say they beat cancer, I don't care what kind of cancer. Congratulations,
Yes.
congratulations.
Yeah, that's
Live,
it.
Yeah. Now,
live and enjoy your life, brother.
yeah.
Live it.
If you
And if
want
you want
to
to
get
get a
this
belt to
belt,
symbolize your battle, do that, brother. Do that.
yes. If
Yeah.
you want to get a belt made, I suggest that you, from the left tip to the right tip, all your place, everything, let him know what it is that you want, and he will do it for you.
Yeah.
We're
Yes.
also showing you our custom belts. It can be done. And once again, congratulations to you, sir.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Love it, brother. Love it.
Applaud
Love
you
it.
as a person, not me personally been through it, but people that I know that's close to me, congratulations, man.
Yes.
Well, I got to leave the broadcast, guys. I got to go. I'm on the East Coast, so I got to go make some food.
Awesome.
Food for my kids.
That was for 7 years, number 7, and the Bible stands for completion. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Love it.
I can't.
Awesome.
Already, you know, this was fun. Sorry I had to dip
Yeah.
out on you a few minutes there, but
No
I got
worries.
a phone call. But
Oh man.
this is fun. We're
We
gonna do this
shall get
again real
together
soon.
again.
We're gonna do
Tuesdays
this
are not
real soon.
usually good for me, unfortunately, because like next Tuesday I'm working 12 hours, so I will be.
Yeah. It's not
We will work it out.
We're gonna work everything out. We're gonna work it out.
We're gonna work it out.
I worked Memorial Day, so they gave me the day off. So.
Me too. That's
Nice.
why I had the day off. I work Memorial Day. All righty, y'all. You know, this is fun. We're gonna do this again real soon. We'll set everything up, man. We will.
Yeah. And if you want to join the conversation, hit one of us up. We could always use somebody else in here to chop it up with. Like,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
All righty, y'all. This was fun, man. Y'all have a good one. I'll holler at y'all some other time.
Later, y'all.
All righty, y'all. Sorry about all that. Sorry I had to dip off for a few minutes. Like I said, I had got important phone calls. I thought it was going to be another day. With that being said, this is your boy, Man Up. And as always, you was in the man cave. Sorry, I'm finna be rude. And now, kick you out this man cave. Holla.